Putin panics when Russia's largest chemical plant burns. The Russian capital is engulfed in flames. Update on the war of Russia and Ukraine on April 22. Yesterday, April 21st, a fire broke out at Russia's largest chemical plant after 7 people died in a fire at a defense facility near Moscow. Smoke rises from the Dmitrievsky chemical plant, near the border with Ukraine, on Thursday afternoon. The Kinishma facility, east of the capital, produces most of Russia's industrial solvent supply. Reports suggest that more than 150 people have been evacuated. This site is about 950 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. Igor Sushko, a Putin critic and Russian race car driver, tweeted, "This is Russia's largest producer of chemical solvents." The entire facility was destroyed by the fire yesterday. Located 250 miles east from Moscow. We're starting to see an evolving pattern. The fire from the chemical factory exploded and spread to the Defense Ministry building next door, killing 7 people. Both facilities burned down and the damage was immense. The facility is located west of Moscow, where 25 people were injured when the roof collapsed. Several military scientists jumped out of windows in the Space and Weapons Institute. It is not yet known whether any chemicals are released as a result of the fire. Russian authorities fear that the amount of this chemical will greatly affect Russian residents in the Tver area. The cause of the fire is still unknown. Russia's state news agency TASS reported that 13 people had been hospitalized following a fire in Tver. A source told the agency, "Actually in all the windows there were people and asked for help." Emergency services on the scene west of Moscow said firefighters' efforts were complicated by very strong smoke and high temperatures. The victims taken to the hospital all suffered severe injuries, Tver Hospital told TASS. Some reports suggest that the fire started on the second floor of the building. Ukraine destroyed Russian Su-34 fighter aircraft in Kharkiv region, successfully rescued 19 Ukrainian soldiers. Update on the war of Russia and Ukraine on April 22. Ukraine's armed forces destroyed a Russian Su-34 fighter jet in the Kharkiv region today, April 21. In the Kharkiv region, the Ukrainian military destroyed a Russian Su-34 fighter bomber. Ola Synhyubov, head of the Kharkiv Regional Military Administration, said in a Telegram post, Ukrinform reported. Synhyubov wrote, "Today, our defenders destroyed another Su-34 of the enemy. The Russian fighter plane was destroyed in the Izium region, where fighting with troops is taking place. Occupied." According to the 93rd Mechanized Brigade Kholodny Yar, the fighter bomber was shot down by the Soviet Mobile Anti-Aircraft Missile System Igla. The plane crashed over territory temporarily occupied by Russian troops. It is not yet clear whether the pilots survived. The plane was shot down while the Russian military was carrying out an airstrike on Izium. The Russian military's airstrike was defeated by the Ukrainian air defense. Ukraine is happy to have successfully rescued 19 of its soldiers. As part of a prisoner of war exchange with Russia, 19 people, including 10 military personnel, are returning to Ukraine. Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Reintegration of the Temporary Occupied Territories Irina Vereshchuk reported this on Telegram. Another prisoner of war exchange has taken place. Today we will return home 19 people, including 10 military personnel, including 2 officers, and 9 civilians, Vereshchuk wrote. According to the Deputy Prime Minister, this time there are injured people among those released who will receive comprehensive treatment and rehabilitation. Vereshchuk thanked Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for his personal frequent participation in the prisoner of war exchange. As reported by Ukrinform, on April 19, Ukraine and Russia exchanged prisoners of war for the 5th time since the start of the Russian invasion, with a total of 76 Ukrainians returning home. Ukraine kills 200 Russian soldiers and defeats 3 enemy attacks in eastern Ukraine. Update on the war of Russia and Ukraine on April 22. Ukrainian troops destroyed 200 enemy troops and 5 tanks in eastern Ukraine yesterday 21/4. In the past day, the armed forces of Ukraine destroyed up to 200 enemy troops, 5 tanks, an aircraft and other military vehicles in eastern Ukraine. As reported by a Ukrinform reporter, the related statement was made by the Eastern Operations Tactics Group on Facebook. Ukrainian defense forces continue to hold back the aggressor in the area controlled by the Eastern Operations Group. On April 21, 2022, the Russian fascist army launched 3 waves of attacks. Our artillery systems fired on enemy groups and vehicles. Written report. All 3 enemy attacks were repelled by us. Russian military forces suffered a heavy loss, when more than 200 Russian soldiers were destroyed by our defense forces, President of Ukraine, Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky emphasized. As a result, the Ukrainian army destroyed more than 200 enemy troops, 5 tanks, 2 infantry fighting vehicles, 1 armored personnel carrier, 1 artillery system, 1 aircraft, 9 motor vehicles and 3 aircraft. Driverless. Between February 24, 2022 and April 21, 2022, the total Russian combat losses in Ukraine amounted to about 21,000 troops.